in the previous video, we went over how to change Content Center, the libraries that you have, and um, you probably didn't see it that well, but I clicked a custom library that he imported. And what you have to do when you want to import a new library, maybe you download it over the internet or whatever, but you have to put it into the content center that your program looks for. So I have this content center right here as my library, of course, and it has 8020.idcl, which I just downloaded from the internet. I didn't make this myself, and I want to go ahead and make this myself because there's a very small issue with this, is that it was made in, I guess, inches. So on the bill of materials, everything shows up in inches. So anyways, yeah, after you do that, if you go to the content center, click editor, it's going to ask, do you want to update them now? Libraries to migrate, you can migrate your library. It's done, analysis has been finished. Importing everything. So this is coming into my library now. So now, if I click the, here we go, structural shapes, other, 8020. So here's all of my 8020 profiles that I just imported. Now I'll show you what I mean here by this being standard and not metric. So I'll go over how to make our own library. Let's see, that's already fractional. Let me find a 30 series. What? There's no 30 series. That's crazy. Okay, this is a metric series, 40 series. I think I'm missing 30 series, although this is 30-30. Like, this should be 30 series. I know 40 series is metric, so we'll go over that. Family properties. Okay, so this says metric. Standard, not really going to mess with that, although we could put some kind of metric standard. So let's see here. Parameter mapping. Length. Okay, so that's about it. There is a way, let's see how we do it here. Family table. So the base length right here is in inches. And we really want this to be in millimeters for metric extrusion. So we can go ahead and change that here to millimeters. And let's see. I'll be able to tell you why I'm doing this right now, but I won't be able to show you right away. When you use this extrusion to make a frame with the frame generator to make a frame, by default, if you don't go and change any settings anywhere, it'll show the base length of the frame members in inches, which you obviously don't want, right, if you're designing this in metric. So you need to go ahead and change settings everywhere to be in millimeters, and then hopefully it shows up properly when you oh, here's 30 series. So you missed just a tiny little bit of off the scenes work right there, but I just went ahead and changed everything to millimeters, and I'll show you. You probably still have that that problem with the if you use the frame generator, it will still likely be metric by default. So I'll likely have to make my own library, right? So let's just make a new part right here. And I'll show you also how to use the frame generator while we're at it. So that's cool. Let's say we have a rectangle here. It's not quite long enough. Let's say it's this long. It's huge. That's a huge rectangle. We're going to extrude it. Let's just say 500 millimeters. Cool. Now we're going to return. We are going to insert a frame. Let's just save it, assembly one, whatever. Whatever the old assembly one was, I didn't need it. I know I didn't need it. So right here, we're gonna do 80-20 metric. Let's do one of the ones I just switched, which is 30, 30, 30. And here we go. Watch this. Highlight your part, and it generates a frame around this. It's using this as a skeleton, and you can choose where the frame is being inserted with regards to the edge of this. So if you want to do this, you know, change the insertion point. You basically have to go edge by edge, because if you change all of it, if you can see, the frame's not meeting up anymore, which I suppose sometimes that's fine if depending on the connectors you're trying to use for the frame. But yeah, personally I'm using through holes and stuff, so I need to go ahead and do everything manually. But let's just say we do it like this. Let's say we do it like this. You would be best off to give all of these a different name, which luckily these are all a different name by default. You can see the last number there is different. So it's generating the frame here, saving all of those parts. Now I want to be able to see just the frame. So I'll go to part 1 and I'll take off the visibility. Now we can see here there's some overlap, and we get rid of that by doing trim to frame. So we choose the one we're going to use as a tool first, and we choose the one we're cutting. So now we can see this is cut exactly to this length right here. So now if we want to do that again, we want to cut, let's see which one we want to cut. Let's say we want to cut, let's just cut this one. Okay, prior end treatments, whatever. So it thought I had some prior end treatments for some reason. But yeah, now you can see, oh, the prior end treatments were when I used the frame generator. I did a wrong setting. So now you can see everything is butted up nice against each other. And now, you know, I'd be able to use my my access hole, what are they called? The connectors where you tap the end of one of these extrusions, drill an access hole, and attach them that way. That's one of my favorite ways to do it. So yeah, this is a brief demonstration of the frame generator, and I'll show you right now. So you can go to a bill of materials, and you can see all of the frame members that you made. Now, right now, they're all in inches, and in another video, I'll show you how to change that. These are all in inches just because I imported these from a pre-made library off the internet. Thanks for watching. Good luck with your frame generator.